2016 Hot 6 GSL Season 2 Code S.
What's up, guys? You're here at the GSL Code S with me, Valdez, and GTR filling in for Nick and Dan. They're over in LA at the Summit, but it's going to be a great day of matches here. We got a bunch of great players coming down, GTR.
For sure. We've got Bjorn, who's the dark horse on the online tournaments. He's doing so well online. Can he replicate his form offline here at the most prestigious league in the world? We've also got Lucira, the surprise packet seed. And finally, Classic, a former GSL champion.
Yeah, I put out my predictions on the Twitterverse, right? I was thinking that Classic and Bjorn were going to get through on this one, but Lucira, he's definitely got a chance. And Seed, you know, I was looking at the maps that he was picking. He wants these maps like King Sejong Station in his PvP against Classic. We could see really anything out of him. Maybe he throws in a bunch of cheeses, proxies, you know, crazy stuff. And crazier stuff has happened than, you know, Seed getting through in a group like this.
Yeah, we have not seen Seed at all in the Pro League in maybe the past 2 rounds or so, because he was a coach previously. He wasn't a playing player per se, but Horror has replaced the role as coach, and now, I mean, Seed, who knows what he's going to do in this group? Like, he can pull something out of his bottom and win this group. Who knows? I
mean, nobody really knows. As you were saying, we haven't seen him in so long in Pro League and these individual leagues that it's a big surprise that he gets through here in the GSL. And he could, you know, maybe he's been practicing some crazy builds. He's been hiding all of his stuff for so long. So I'm really excited to see if he can actually stand up to Classic, and then if he can't, you know, see how he does in the losers match. And also that first one, Lucira versus Bjorn. Bjorn, I feel like, is definitely the heavy favorite in that one.
For sure.
Lucira had a lot of trouble in his group. It was a very hard group at the SSL Challenge, but Bjorn actually crushed. He got out in second place behind Alive, who was also crushing. So I'm very excited to see what Bjorn is going to bring here, and if Lucira can defeat him.
Yeah, with Bjorn, like, as we mentioned before at the start of the broadcast, he is known for being a very strong player on the online tournaments, such as the Olima League, the Leifeng Cup, the other Chinese one, I forgot the name of it, but he's basically an online monster. And today will be the day we'll see whether he can replicate that form that he's shown online here at the GSL. And with Lucira, he hasn't been fielding that often in Pro League. So, you know, we got Leenock playing in that 4th role that KT have, like, desperately looked for. They're looking for that 4th player. But, yeah, we'll just have to see how well Lucira has prepared for this group.
Yeah, I think it was very telling that they actually pulled out Leenock in the Ace match recently
against
at Pro League.
Curious.
You know, instead of someone like Lucira, or instead of someone like Zest, TY, or Stats, right? They have so many great players over there, and they put it all on Leenock. And, you know, that kind of, as you were saying, where does that leave Lucira, and especially after his SSL performance?
You have to remember in that interview with Curious as well, he did mention that he did not expect Leenock to come out.
I don't think anyone really did.
I mean, I'd be rich if there was like a betting for that. But Curious, he said that he did a 12 pool just on a whim. And we're going to go to the group information. Here we go.
Yeah, so we're just going to go over these groups. We've been talking about it a lot already. I'm sure you guys, if you're tuning in, should know as well. Lucira Bjorn will be our first match, and then Seed versus Classic is going to be our second match.
And I feel like we haven't talked at all about Classic so far, because, let's admit it, he got knocked out of the round of 32 last season to Speed, and he hasn't really been performing in the individual leagues, because we've got to remember, in the SSL, he did lose to Patience in that PvP best of 5.
But look at this, I mean, we already have 2 Terrans getting out, Gumio and Cure, and 2 Protosses, Zest and Myungshik. Myungshik being the big surprise there. Gumio also on a Terror, but also there's no Zergs that have gotten out yet. Lucira is the only one in this group.
And it looks very hard for Lucira to come out in this group, considering the strength of Bjorn's and Classic. Seed, of course, the dark horse, as we mentioned before. We also have to mention that the new patches come out here in Korea, so the Queens have that range buff, the Spores have that lesser time to root themselves. So Bjorn is known for being a very multitask heavy player. He loves to use his drops, loves to use the Liberators in harassment. We'll see how Lucira will deal with that with the new patch.
For sure. We got some hot points coming at you from Group C. Bjorn facing the 2 players who took away the chance for him to advance to the finals. I guess that was for another GSL. Classic and Bjorn destined to meet 2 times in Group C.
Yep, they're in same SSL group apparently. So, and then our last point will be the last Zerg of the previous season, Lucero. Remember, he was that dark horse seed coming into the that round of 8, and of course his seed doesn't have to play for Code A. So, will he be the first Zerg to advance into the round of 16?
Yeah, he was also the only Zerg, if you guys remember, as it's saying here, from the round of 8. So, you know, he was that Zerg hope. He wasn't able to get past the round of 8, but he's done better than any other player in this group,
He's
right?
done better than Dark, he's done better than Su. In terms of Zergs, I mean, like all the Zergs that we associate with, you know, round of 8's consistency, he's done better than those players.
Yeah, look at this. In terms of GSL career, don't forget Seed is a GSL champion, and so is Classic. So they are equal, according to this graph. And then they're both better than Lucero, who is better than Beyond.
Yeah, you got to remember, Beyond did take that sabbatical during the end of the Heart of the Storm, but he's come back to Legacy to avoid kicking everyone's ass. So really excited to see him back in the GSL here.
Yeah, he's definitely a changed player here. Let's take a look at. This is actually kind of confusing for me. Can you interpret this for me, GTR?
I think this is if it's an up arrow, it's a positive win rate against that player. If it's equal, it's sort of even. And if it's a down arrow, if it's an X, then I assume it's they haven't played yet.
That makes sense. Yeah. You figured it out. I was like, I don't know, there's too many bars and stuff. But guys, we're going to go into an interview VCR now with these players.
왜 하필 테란이랑 하나?
상대가 황가원 선수더라고요. 그 선수도 오픈 시즌 1 출신이거든요. 저도 오픈 시즌 1 출신인데 오픈 시즌 원하는 느낌 나가지고 근데 종족도 저보고 되게 좋은 것 같아요, 대진이.
32강 좋구나. 뭐 그렇게 세지도 않고 힘들지도 않은 조인 것 같고
상대가 세네 이 생각했어요. 전체적으로 봤을 때도 저희 조가 엄청 센 것 같았어요.
일단 1차로 완상 선수는 무조건 이긴다라고 생각하고 있거든요. 또 지면 큰일 나니까 방심하면 안 될 것 같아요.
예전에도 이렇게 같은 조에 변현우 선수가 있었었는데 그때도 올라갔었거든요. 그때도 변현우 선수가 엄청 잘해가지고 막 걱정을 많이 했었는데 어떻게 잘 되더라고요. 이번에도 그러지 않을까 싶어요.
황가원 선수가 방어형만 이기면 올라갈 것 같아요. 근데 첫 경기가 되게 중요한 것 같아요.
그나마 토스가 이제 좀 괜찮지 않을까 싶어요.
올라가면 2등, 떨어지면 2패 탈락입니다.
올라가기만 한다면 1등이나 2등이나 상관없을 것 같은데 또 이왕 올라갈 거면 비슷하게 1위로 진출하고 싶어요.
제 생각에 2위로 올라가지 않을까. 등수 상관없이 올라만 가고 싶어요.
최근에 플레인 코치에서 다시 선수로 오신 걸로 알고 있는데 경기 감이 무뎌졌을 것 같은데 열심히 준비해 오셨으면 좋겠어요.
김도호 선수가 약간 정석적이지만 변칙적인 전략을 잘 준비하는 선수로 잘 알려져 있는데 그래도 많이 준비를 할 테니까 김도호 선수도 준비 열심히 하셔서 좋은 경기 했으면 좋겠어요. 현우가 저거다 살살하죠.
상우 형은 예전 분수업 때부터 되게 친했는데 이렇게 만나게 돼서 좀 아쉽고 그래도 오랜만에 만났는데 제가 그때 GSL 오픈 시즌 1에서 4강에서 3대0 졌거든요. 근데 복수가 들어갔습니다.
So we're back, guys, from that interview VOD, and it's kind of interesting what some of the players had to say. Lucero saying he's not too confident against Terran. Why exactly did he have to face Terran in the first match? But he feels confident against these Protoss players.
Yeah, I mean, Terran versus Protoss is, let's face it, it's one of the more even matchups here in Korea. So, of course, he'd be feeling very confident about that. And I completely forgot that Lucero and Beyond were on the same pro team in Brugel. They're on the Hwasong Oz team, which was known for being the team that Jadong was on. But our first game here will be Lucero against Beyond. Here we have Lucero. He's actually looking pretty happy here. Normally he looks very pensive, very serious, but very relaxed right now.
Yeah, and you can see his last 5 matches not looking all too good. All losses here. Of course, a lot of them being in the SSL Season 2 Challenge matches, where he had a very hard group. I mean, Hero was there, Mara was there, Zest was in that group as well. And he lost to pretty much everyone else. You know, Hero, Reality, Maru, Super, and Alive in Pro League.
Yeah, it's not looking very good in terms of full-on full Lucero, but I have the confidence that he has the ability to make up for it and get out of this group if he puts in the work.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see how he does in this first match. I feel like if he gets out in this first one ahead of Beyond, he's definitely got a great chance against either Seed or Classic in the second one.
Yep, and here's our second player of the group, Group C. It is Beyond. And he qualified out of Code A, beating Forte 3-0. Forte's not really that strong of a player, but it's still an impressive result.
And then taking a 3-0, he kind of, if I remember, it was like total domination too, which really speaks to where Beyond is at. You know, maybe in the past, you know, last year or something like that, if you were playing, it would be like a 3-2 or a 3-1 between those two players, but he crushed Forte, and he came tonight to play for sure. See how he does.
Yep, and you have to remember as well, he has no Pro League commitment, so all of his time that he can spend practicing will be on the individual leagues, the SSL and the GSL. I love these photos, by the way.
They're holding up cards with their vetoes. There you go. Neither of these players wanting to play the GSL maps.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing these 4 ladder maps that we've seen so often: King Sage Station, Frost, Frozen Temple, and Dust Towers. It's just a matter of preference which one you want to veto out.
Yeah, I suppose we might see New Gettysburg. It is a newer map, but we've been seeing it a bit at the at Pro League, so players have begun to study that and play on that map a lot as well. Very fun map. I hope we get to see that map.
Yeah,
actually.
I love the map. But our first map here will be King Sage Station, a classic map to start us off here with Group C, Lucero against Beyond.
We've seen so many TVZs on this map in the past, and all the TVZs in Legacy of the Void as well have been very, very entertaining, so I'm excited to get into this one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very looking forward to how well these plays will play out.
Now, guys, well, get out there, tell your friends to tune in to the GSL Code S. We're going to start our first game of the night. Let's get into Lucero versus Beyond.
All right, spawning here at the bottom right as the Blue Zerg.
KT Rolster, Lucera.
I have to get used to that because at Pro League SSL, we have to do the announcing ourselves.
Yeah.
All right, there's Lucero. A very long camera pan onto him. All right, and spawning here at the top left as the Red Terran here on King Siege Station, it is...
Beyond.
Oh man, I love the new voices for this season.
Yeah. Whoever did that voice acting is really, really cool.
Very sensual.
Got a nice voice.
Yeah.
Sensual is perhaps the right word. Oh,
there's
we are
us.
in the back.
There's us.
Hey, we're watching on the big screen.
Yeah.
And of course, Zixo in the middle, as well as, I think that's Surrender. Those are
Also, the Hearthstone
players. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So is there like a tournament this weekend or?
Not 100% sure. I think the OGN League might be starting up here soon.
Oh, okay, so they're
Again,
probably here for that.
I've been seeing Doa tweeting about that a bit. But yeah, coming down to support all the esports here.
Yeah.
As you know, Nick and Dan always like to say, if you only like one game,
you're not a true
in
esports
spite
fan.
of the other games, that's kind of weird. You know, you shouldn't just do that because you know you have to be the fan of only one game. It's the best game ever.
Yeah.
Just enjoy whatever you enjoy and don't think about it.
Yeah,
you know?
there's no shame in enjoying several different esports out there. I mean, I play a lot of Counter-Strike. I play a lot of StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2. Like, I dabble in everything, and there's no shame in liking other esports out there.
For sure. Been playing a bit of Overwatch myself. Used to play a bunch of Hearthstone as well. But
anyway, getting back to this game, everything seems very stock standard here from both players. Beyond getting that early Reaper to scout, getting the command center on the lower ground, with Lucero's getting that early speed. No shenanigans at all.
Yeah, it's looking very standard here, as you were saying. Beyond showed a lot of the same builds in his SSL challenge matches, which is where the majority of his most recent matches are from. I know he played that 3-0 against Forte, but he didn't show all too much there. And basically what he was doing was just the double medevac drop with the 16 Marines, where you get that out very fast. You can also get a very fast stim with that, so it's a very aggressive, timing-oriented, harass kind of build. And Curious to see if he's going to do it again here in, at least one of these matches. Looks like so far...
Yeah, he's getting that really quick starport, so
Yeah.
we might see that Medivac play that you mentioned before. And Lucero's getting that early Overlord speed. With Legacy to Void now, that Overlord speed is so cheap, it's so easy to get. You want to get an Overlord into your opponent's space and see what they're doing.
And it looks like this time we are going to see a Widowmine drop.
Okay.
This is a bit more of the older standard, just the 6 Marine, 1 Widowmine, go into the Zerg space, drop it down. See this a lot in just pretty much any matchup, even TVT from time to time.
Hey, it's a very strong build that works against both Terrans and Zergs, and if you control it right, you can get a lot of damage done with it. But the Overlord's trying to get a sneak peek into what Beyond's doing right now.
Yeah, you saw pretty much everything that he did have to see. Sees the reactor there on the Marines, as well as the factory, the early starport.
Quick siege tank here from Beyond, so maybe he's thinking of doing some Medivac, Tankivac play after this Widowmine Marine follow-up.
Yeah, kind of the standard. You follow up, get a couple of tanks out, and then eventually switch that barracks, start to get your infantry upgrades, on that tech lab.
Oh, note the positioning of that Spore Crawler is actually at the ramp rather than behind the mineral line. It's quite a interesting move there from Lucero.
Here we go, drop coming in behind the natural mineral line. There's not all that much here to defend.
Yeah, and he's actually unburrowed that Widowmine, trying to reposition it. And here comes the Spore Crawler to detect that Widowmine. Remember the root time of that Spore Crawler is the crits. Oh, nice hit from that Widowmine with the Queen.
Yeah, he does sacrifice that Queen to push it back. Beyond talking to himself, I see him there actually. I don't think you guys can see on the screen, but as that drop is going down, Beyond known for being a very talkative player in the booth and outside of the booth.
As another Overlord comes here from Lucero, fully scouts everything, and he actually sees that Liberator, so he knows that Liberator harassment is a possibility.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we were talking about the new patch here, the Queens with their added range, definitely going to be a bit easier to defend those kinds of drops. They have the Widowmine coming in here now. No detection just yet. Going to lose 2 drones.
That's quite unfortunate there. He could have mitigated that 1 less drone, but a bit sloppy there from Lucero, but no big deal at this point in the game so far. And here comes the Liberator harassment that I mentioned at the start of the broadcast that Beyond is so famous for.
Here we go. Lucero does notice it right away. I think those Queens now can actually hit that Liberator, so he has to back off. But Beyond being very persistent with his harass here. Looks like perhaps the Queens couldn't hit it, actually. They had to get in there. Beyond studied the positions where he needs to put that Liberator now with the new patch.
Yeah, unfortunately here for Lucero, he's just stuck trying to get his Zerglings to kill these Marines, and there's not enough surface area to surround the Marines of Beyond, and they're just having free reign until these Queens come, at least.
Ooh, Beyond getting out of there. No target on the medevac just yet. So I think about half health, but it's still alive and doing that damage.
Only now that Lucero is getting that lair tech, he's decided to go for the early upgrades rather than going for the earlier lair. He's also getting that Baneling Nest, so no Roach Ravager today on King's Age Station for Lucero. He looks like he's going to go for that Ling Bling neuter play.
It's kind of interesting for the map. I mean, you definitely have to be very mobile on a map like this. Also, mutas can be very nice for harassment. Definitely a lot of different angles you can come in. You can go from the third base to the main, do a lot of harass damage like that. It's not a build that we see all too often nowadays, but definitely still viable.
For sure. As this Zergling's actually going to catch this expansion of Beyond falling down. Doesn't deny it, but at least he has the intelligence gathered from that Zergling that he does see a third base, and I'm really curious to see how Lucero is going to react to this really quick third.
We'll see what he wants to do.
Oh, Baneling drops.
Yeah, he's going for the drops here first. He's also researching Burrow. Lucero, no stranger to Burrow Banelings. Maybe seeing some of that. He could also try to burrow some Lings around the 4th base locations for the Terran and make that really annoying.
Yeah, here's the time where Lucero's showing his own multitasking. He's going to try and multitask using those Zerglings at the 3rd base to deny mining, but also using this Overlord with the Banelings to deny mining at the expansion of Beyond. But there are 2 Medivacs out here with tanks trying to do some damage, but can't really find any sort of entry point so far.
Kind of a awkward angle there for that Overlord is going to be pushed back again.
There's the burrow.
I wonder if he saw that actually with the Tankovacs. Perhaps
was
not.
Moving up. Oh, no, he's probably going to scan here.
Is he though?
No.
Oh, he's
no.
gonna walk right over it. There we go.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god. That is disastrous for Bjorn.
Oh, that is huge.
His push has been delayed so much here. And Lucira, he's even, oh my, that's so unfortunate for Bjorn. I can't believe he didn't see that with the tanky back.
Oh man. This is actually so entertaining that I get to see his face here on the big screen as it happens, to see his reaction.
And I'm pretty sure that Bjorn knew it was coming. So, unfortunately there for Bjorn, but if he can stabilize his third base, add those production buildings as he's doing right now, and not die, and maybe harass that fourth base, he's still in this game.
Definitely not out of this one just yet.
He's actually transitioning to Hellions, which is quite interesting.
This is sneaky. He's just gonna burrow them, force a scan because he couldn't really find too much damage.
And he's gonna try and maybe kill SCVs here at the expansion.
Oh,
whoa.
Oh, that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh boy.
Lucira's done a very nice job just making Bjorn move everywhere around the map. Not really a time or place for Bjorn to stabilize right now.
Look at this creep spread all around the right side of the map. Lucira broke down those back rocks at the natural very early on, and he's been very meticulous about spreading that as far across the map as possible.
I'm very curious to know the mindset behind Bjorn going for the Hellbats rather than the Widow Mine to deal with these Banelings and Lings. Maybe he feels that the tankiness of the Hellbats is just better to tank the hits of the Banelings. I'm not too sure.
Now Bjorn moving across the map, and this is what happens when you're facing, well, hold that thought, the huge counterattack here from Lucira.
Nice
Ooh,
split
really
there.
nice split.
Yeah. And this Widow Mine hit. Oh, it probably already shot though, so.
Oh, these SCVs, there's no defense. Decent splits from Bjorn, but all of them are going to go down. He's going to pull the army back once again.
Yeah, and he's going to waste scans of Bjorn by just borrowing at random places.
Yeah, another scan there.
In a situation like this, you don't want to be wasting scans, given how behind he was from that initial attack of Lucira. As a drop here, it gets completely shut down from the drop of Bjorn, rather. Shut down. And he's trying to clear creep with these tank backs, but he has no scans because he had to use it to defend his third base.
And you could see him trying to move across the map and scan. He's going to have to do it for the creep anyway, but it gets into your head when you get hit like that by one set of burrowed Banelings. You're like, I can't move across the map unless I scan every single location that I'm moving across.
Yeah, and because your starport is dedicated with that reactor to react to those medivacs or liberators, you can't really get a Raven out to deal with the creep.
Very, very true. Well, it seems like he is slowly moving across the map here.
I love Lucira's movement this game. He's just been all over the map so far. Bjorn hasn't really had the chance to fight the army of Lucira head on. And looks like Bjorn is posturing to do a sort of attack here at the right side. But nice counterattack here from Lucira. Let's see how much damage he can do.
Triggers the Widow Mine.
Oh,
Misses
nice
on
hit.
the second one, but...
I think he wanted those mutas rather than the Zerglings though.
And here we go.
Oh my god, there's so many Banelings here!
And there's no tanks, as you said. No, well, there is actually a couple of tanks back there. Didn't see them behind the medevacs.
I think Lucira's just waiting for the Mutalists to come out and get a better angle here. He can probably try and surround this army. He needs to get rid of the tanks, though, because the tanks are key to attacking those Banelings.
Very true, and he doesn't have all that many mutas to deal with this.
Here we go,
He's
here
going to lose his natural. Banelings rolling in, and
nice
the tanks.
Oh my god, the tanks! Nice target fire here on the Banelings, and this is a borrow, but the scan.
Really nice burrow, actually. Saves a lot of his Banelings there instead of just losing them to tanks.
Yeah.
And he totally cleans up everything that Bjorn had at that base. He loses his natural, but now the counterattack is huge.
Yeah, counterattack's here, but Bjorn's doing a nice job just regathering his army because there aren't those Banelings to deflect these Marines. And who do you think won that trade there?
I kind of feel like Lucira did, in a way. I feel like he can remake these bases, and he's taken total control of the map right now. Like, Bjorn has this small force, and Bjorn is still sitting here on 3 bases, whereas Lucira, you know, definitely in a decent spot. The only thing that I'm kind of scared about is 3-3 is about to finish.
Yep, and the thing is, Lucira hasn't thought of getting a Hive yet. He's just very content of getting these, he's getting +1 carapace on his Mutalist. He's also... he's just happy on Lair Tech right now, but given the situation on these 4 bases, as long as he can defend the 4th base and just continue stopping the mining of that 3rd base of Bjorn, Lucira should feel good.
Look at this. He's now really built up that muta count, and there's not even a turret in place behind this mineral line.
Well, he did have a turret before, but he got wrecked.
Yeah. And now it's like he's mining on a base, basically, just his third base. Some units come in and try to defend, but it doesn't work out. And the Muda Mines actually get sniped by a couple of Banelings.
Yeah. I mean, this damage here from the Mutalisk, he can just move back and try and defend. Like, here we go. He could probably just defend with his Zerglings Baneling right now.
Really nice splits here. The Widow Mines don't get that good of hits. And
Nice,
that Terran army is so small. That's going to be a GG.
Well done. Lacira actually playing quite well that game. Very nice movement with his army, catching Bjorn off guard very often. And very nice game there from Lacira. He takes the first game here of the series.
Yeah, you see the KT assistant coach going over there?
Yep, Coach Rue, a legend of StarCraft, former Slayers coach, former Woongjin Stars coach, mentored players such as Soulkey, SOS, all the Slayers players, and you know, he's probably just telling Lacira right now, you did a really good job, just do that again, because I don't think Bjorn's going to switch around his playstyle that much.
And honestly, just seeing the way that Bjorn was reacting to all that, he didn't seem like he was all together, you know? He didn't have all of his ducks in a row. He was kind of just like all over the place in a way.
Yeah, I think he was looking to kill Lacira with that massive push onto the right side of his base, but it didn't work out for him, and unfortunately for Bjorn, he does lose that game here on King Siege on Station. But now we are on Frost, which is a 4-player map. We're probably going to see a slightly different map, slightly different match, depending on the positions that these players spawn at.
For sure, and this is Bjorn's map choice. So Lacira did choose that King Sage on Station. He played it quite well. But can Bjorn bring it back and try to get into that third map, which is going to be Frozen Temple?
Yep. And all the marbles are on Bjorn to try and win this match. Got to remember as well, he doesn't have his own coach, so he doesn't really have anyone to knock back ideas back and forth. So
yeah, I mean, you kind of see him there meditating, thinking over it all by himself, whereas Lacira gets, as you were saying, kind of that legendary coach to go in there and give him, you know, all the fruits, you know, of, you know, everything that he could possibly tell him about what went right, what went wrong, what do you have to focus on in the next match, really just keep Lacira's focus set, you know, whereas Bjorn kind of just has to do it all himself.
Yeah, there's nothing really much to fault about Lacira's previous play of that game, so we'll see how Bjorn adapts to what he saw in that previous game.
Well, the countdown has started here. We're going to get into this game in just a second. I'll say it once again, guys. Get your friends into the stream. This is the GSL Code S. After all, you are watching some of the best players in the world in StarCraft 2 go head-to-head. We're going to go into game number 2 between Lacira and Bjorn right now. Down here in the bottom left, in the blue,
KT Rolster, Lacira.
And is a very loud Lacira fan out there.
Yeah, there was one showing her support, for sure. And up here in the top left, in the red,
Bjorn.
Oh man, Bjorn. So
I love it
seductive.
every time. It never gets old.
I love the Zest one, and I love the images that they use as well. Like Gumiho's image is like him doing like this or something like that.
Yeah. Well, welcome down to the studio. He is master, the 2%.
2%, but you've got to remember the ladder reform has come around, so they changed around the ratios. So maybe it's not the 2% anymore.
You're
maybe
trying to take his 2% away from him,
then? 10%.
Perhaps. That shirt is pretty cool. Thanks for coming down, guys.
Yeah.
Always welcome.
Got to remember, all the time, GSL is free to come here.
Yeah.
And also you get free Hot 6, which is a great energy drink. You can keep yourself energized. These are very long days, by the way, when we do the GSL cast. And did I mention already it's free?
The what?
The GSL.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 3. I'm like, what? No, you didn't say anything about 3.
It's free.
All of the events down here are free.
All the StarCraft events, at least, yes.
And I saw those guys down at Pro League as well.
Oh, cool.
Cool guys.
And we have
True
SSL
fans.
tomorrow as well, so I hope to see them as well.
Yeah.
Down at the SSL.
SSL is going to be fun, too.
Dark
You got a
versus
6
Est.
group,
Yeah. I mean,
live in the group trust as well.
Yep.
Lots of great StarCraft all around Korea nowadays.
yeah, coming back into this game, we do have vertical spawns for both players, and note what Lacira did there with the Overlord is that he saw the SEV building the command center, and then he just moved his Overlord back so that Bjorn could not see it. It's a very old move that has been done since the old StarCraft 1 days. But Bjorn's going to fully scout straight out Lacira here at the bottom left.
Yeah, gets lucky with the Reaper Scout. Gonna come in here. That's one unlucky drone, though.
Oh, actually gets the Extractor out. That's pretty sick there from Lucira. And unfortunately for Bjorn, he doesn't get any damage done with the mine from the Reaper.
Yeah, still trying to poke here. So far, no links have gone down. That one is targeted. Nice micro there from Lucira.
Yep. Very nice micro here. And the Queen's out, so it looks like this Reaper has... Is he going to move back, or is he going to scout the main bay? Okay. Oh, he actually gets a Zergling. I don't know what that Zergling is.
Lucira's like, here, you deserve this one. That was some nice micro. Here you go.
Maybe he wanted to free up that half supply to get that extra drone or something.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be the build, actually. Bjorn is going to go back to his tried and true build where he goes for that double racks and gets out the 16 Marines with the very early stim and